The show features adults using adult language and discussing mature topics. You have been warned.
Because the hard drive was SATA. My new computer, the hard drive is literally this big, and it's a one like trilobite drive or whatever. It's like this big. Here's my. And I'm like, let me put this hard drive in. Oh God, I'm gonna drop this. Like, I was literally like.
So it's the Men in Black moment. I feel like I'm gonna break this damn thing.
Yeah. I was literally holding a hard drive, going, "Don't sneeze."
God, what if you accidentally inhaled it?
Yeah. I'm like holding onto the frame, so I'm grounded, and I have my bare feet on the carpet, so there's no static. And I'm like,
what if you accidentally inhaled it and suddenly you felt like you could remember more things?
That would be awesome.
We don't live in that good of a universe. Okay?
That would be awesome.
Am I secretly a robot?
The Johnny Mnemonic universe would be awesome, but no.
Well, anyway, we're live since we're not waiting for people.
Oh, shit.
Hi.
I'll be right back.
Welcome back to Mysteries of the Silver Fleet. Hey, so last time we did a lot of side quests. We've been doing that a lot lately because scheduling. So we're side questing again today, but we'll recap what happened last time. The party had a bit of a discussion, talked about some things, and then we're under attack and got to face the legendary assassin in an epic space battle versus his odd craft, which was one of the craft from the Silver Fleet. And after they defeated him in a truly rousingly epic space battle that was decidedly one-sided, as space battles of like 5 versus 1 would be, they found out that the craft oddly evaporated into nothingness. And strangely enough, the captain was not floating around in space. He was gone. So the party, after having been thoroughly confused by why that just happened, went back to the ring world and decided to talk to Dr. Tepesh and ask her if the ring world could be moved somewhere else. Lots of SpongeBob references later. We decided that that probably is the best option for the ring world, is to just move it somewhere else, since apparently people know where it is. So that was the decision. Dr. Tepper said it is possible to move it, but she's never done it, being as she's the only one who is still alive from when the ring world was printed into its current location. And for those of you who didn't pay attention all the way back to the beginning, the ring world was printed in its location by a large moon-sized factory that printed the ring world out of a bunch of planets and asteroids that were all harvested from the local area.
Quite a marvel in technology.
No one knows what would happen when they turned the factory on, so they powered it up, jumped it, and turned it on, and all of a sudden it just started harvesting things and printed a ring world.
Do we know
the middle of space?
Do we know where this factory is now?
Yeah, you rescued Dr. Tepesh from it. It's a giant busted moon with a huge kaiju-sized creature bleeding all over it. All the equipment is fried because Dr. Tepesh said that the giant kaiju-sized creature's blood is apparently toxic to electronics and has fried all of the electronics on the planet.
All right, my summer home.
It's covered in rivers of blood and has a giant dying creature on it that is somehow still alive and dying at the same time.
What is this, Doom Eternal?
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Sweet. Can I go there again?
If you don't want any of your electronics to work, sure.
Don't forget about the fog beast.
Now we killed
The
it.
fog beast.
There's probably more, Scotty.
There might be. It was made by the Xenoplague, which you haven't resolved yet because that's part of the main plot line, which we are waiting to do because everyone's not here.
So how are we gonna move through the ring then?
So, those of you who are joining us today, you wake up in the Medibay. You had quite the bleeding headache. It was terrible. You're still kind of recovering from all that weird psychic energy from the your exposure to the new ship and the void space that it created around it. It was a lot of very confusing just stuff going on. So you're all kind of here recovering, and you wake up to find the rest of the party here, kind of in the area you're in. We will say that our two compatriots that are not here today Let me get to there.
They're probably still sleeping.
Meriel and Quetzalli, they kind of wander off, kind of talking on their comms with somebody and just disappear. Kind of mid conversation, they just kind of like Quetzalli looks over at Meriel and they like both begin talking to someone on their comm and disappear. They just wander off.
Young
Rusty,
heavy quotations, calibrations.
Yeah. Rusty and Mavwolf are here, just kind of silently standing in the background, not really paying attention.
They're T-posing, yeah.
So yeah.
In fact, thought the exact same thing as me.
Eisen and Rusty are just kind of hanging out in the background, just hanging out. They haven't loaded in yet, so they're not paying attention, but they're there in their default dithering phase.
I go on to...
But anyway, Dr. Teprish is here. Zora and Delgar, you are here from last time, so you both know what's going on. Helix and your name is not Chandra.
Oh, sorry, Talurra.
I'm like, crap.
Sorry.
Talurra, yeah. You are both here as well. You're both kind of waking up from a headache, but you hear this half of the conversation. You don't have a headache anymore. You had one before. And we're talking like psychic headaches, so it also comes with like hallucinations, which is why you were in the metabase in the first place.
We were here last time, though.
Were you? I don't know if you were here last time, though.
Hera was, I was.
You weren't. Yeah. So Talurra's waking up. You were here.
It was Thanksgiving.
Helix. Yeah, that's right. Okay. You were here, Helix. You know what's going on. Talurra is the one that's waking up.
Wait, what?
Turkey and maple syrup.
I actually did.
I
I actually would have made, if I did the turkey this year, it was going to be done with maple syrup.
I can't remember if I was here last time or not.
I don't remember if you were or not either, which is why I assumed you weren't.
I'm fairly certain you were, Hera, and I just realized that me and Scotty have been the most consistent, even despite the other.
I mean, it's for Scotty. Yeah. For Scotty kind of has to be consistent.
He's the host of the channel.
I mean, Zora is the most consistent because you guys did do sessions without me.
Right. Yep.
So I think I am more consistent than Scotty is because I've hosted, I think, 2 episodes without Scotty.
Yeah.
Any case.
Anyways, my armor is darker with shinier bits on the back.
Yep.
Weapon glows a little bit brighter. I have some upgrades. I can't wait to put them to use.
So in the background, you asked Dr. Teprish this question. She said she was going to do some research and get back to you. A month passed, and she's gotten back to you. So she calls you back, knowing that your 2 friends have gone, and calls you back to her office in the lab portion of the Ring World. So you all kind of meet up in her office. There's each of your favorite drinks is kind of on the table where you're sitting, and she kind of slides them towards you. You're not really sure how she knows that's your favorite drink, but you're also kind of scared that she does at the same time.
I'm not surprised.
And she kind of passes the drink your direction, and she
giving Helix her favorite drink is free, is pretty easy as long as it's free.
I'm very curious about one thing. How does she expect me to drink it?
However you drink drinks.
It has the straw that bends around your mask.
Emergency induction port.
Everybody else gets a slide of like a cup, and like Zora gets like an IV thing.
A sippy cup.
I prefer the IV explanation.
It's got the crazy straw that just straw that just bends in around the mask.
No. The mask has an emergency induction port.
In the front, you can just stick a straw on the side of it.
Yeah, it's an emergency. No, it's not a straw. It's an emergency
induction port.
Yeah, okay.
Word for word, the script in the game. Induction I fucking love it.
Gotta help that ego.
Yeah.
Though on the other hand, because you currently have this image, like with this like black suit and the hood, but it's like only like of the costume itself and not like of a person actually wearing it, as far as I can tell. I was like, okay, maybe something happened to Zora, and now she's like no longer like a full like flesh person and just like some ghost inhabiting like a suit or something.
That'd be cool.
It was like my first thought was like just ring.
That would be cool. But no, she has some pretty badass armor that looks way more badass than she had a month ago. So you think maybe Rusty had something to do with crafting that, since Rusty's really good at making stuff. Side chat, anyone that needed anything done to their armor between sessions, Rusty was the one to have talked to. Those of you who didn't pay attention to the side chat, we were gone. Sorry, you missed a chance to upgrade your stuff for free, and now there's no longer a chance to do so. We won't be doing this again for another couple of years. So good luck. Hopefully in the future you can maybe find a side chat somewhere.
It's a good thing I don't need armor.
Helix, like, what? Upgrading equipment?
Well, you are your equipment, so that is a bit difficult to do.
I am already fully upgraded.
Right.
Me and my symbiote are self-sufficient.
Yeah, right. So those of you who got upgrades, everyone's got new stuff that you decided to upgrade. Those of you who didn't or don't need to, your ships or other craft you have, or even mechs and stuff could be upgraded as well, or could have been, but can't now. So too bad you missed your chance. But in any case, you are here meeting with Dr. Tepesh. We have done some research into how things are in the ring world.
Could I have worked on my laser sword a little bit? I got
Describe a little bit.
The handle's Darth Maul laser handle size, but still only one beam. Because I'm missing a second energy source.
So it's a Nodachi laser sword.
Yes.
Not a Nodachi. It's I can't remember the name of it. It's the one with the it's Nodachi size, but the handle is longer. It's not a Nodachi. No.
And it's like
I know what you're talking about.
And it's
like it's I thought it's also a straight blade, so it's not a
but the handle is
like a straight blade, yeah.
It's like I can remove it so it doesn't mess with the balance.
It's a spy-handle now.
It's a 3.5 hand sword.
Anyway, foot.
It's a 3.5 hand sword. Whatever that would be, because no, we don't make those here.
When the hilt is longer than the sword.
Right, yeah.
Excuse me, that's a spear.
yes, exactly. It's as close to a spear as a sword can get.
You got Ray's like staff from episode 7, but at the end it just goes. There's this little laser tip.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
It is possible to move the ring world to somewhere else. However, we will need to make sure our allies are aware of the particular situation that is going on. They make note that we have the St. Vincent, who is constantly bringing in refugees from the war zone, as well as other war-torn areas of the verse. And we also have several other side projects started by other people who have brought in more refugees as well. Our allies have been made aware of our need to move the ring world because of its current threatened location in space. I have chosen another area several light years away from our current location. It would mean abandoning the factory that printed this ring world because we cannot transport it with us. But I can move the ring world and our son, I use quotations because it's not a son, with us as well. So it can be moved if that is something we so desire, but we will need a suitable location. Particularly, I would prefer something closer to the war zone in general, simply because we still have a lot of refugees that come from that area. We don't want to be too close, however, because that's dangerous.
That thought process is quite sound.
Lakshayan space is also a safe area to build to put the ring world next to. We would not want to be in their space, however, of course, because we are almost our own government at this point.
I'd rather not go back there. The Empire's been getting a little too egotistical.
To say the least, yes.
Cuts to like a Gundam, and inside the Gundam's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I
think Zora's not even paying attention. They're just like, ooh, this is cool. Well, Dr. Tepesh, I believe that out of everyone here, you are the most qualified for knowing where to pick our next location. So maybe in a month's time, we should do the move. And in that case, I will let the other denizens here know about it. Along with anyone else who'd be willing to join.
I think a particular area within traveling distance from the gnome flotilla area of space would also give us access to newer technologies, which may help you in your adventures. I hear say that perhaps you need to travel into a dead magic zone for part of what you need to do. So perhaps if that is the case, it would be wiser to be closer to the gnome flotilla to have access to technologies that work inside dead space.
Yes, there's usually many different trading outposts right outside the death zone for that specific reason. So I've heard that only gnome craft stuff works.
Well,
With a passive +8 on history, would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and that strange spacecraft you have. Don't think I haven't noticed the giant living organisms docked in the spaceport. I have avoided talking to it because I have not spoken to you first about it.
No, it does not have a dark matter engine, at least not in the traditional sense.
It has a void matter engine, according to my sources.
Ooh, those are neat.
I assume those aren't powered by magic, then.
No, because it flexes space around the craft as opposed to moving the craft through space. You kind of bypass the whole need for magic when you're not moving through space. You're just moving space around the craft.
Hey, Rusty. We were just discussing where we should be moving the ring world next. Dr. Tepesh was nice enough to get your insert favorite beverage for you.
She slides your favorite beverage across the table towards you.
I don't know why, but I think Rusty would just be like a cup of black coffee.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yep.
You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, something else is stealing your audio, it seems.
No, it's just on the wrong input.
Of course.
That works too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I imagined Rusty's favorite drink either being like Thor, either like a small cup of espresso or a tall beer.
I imagine motor oil, but I guess I'm just weird.
Not tea. No, that's what that's
Not
what the
tea.
ship likes.
It's just very much like Thor, like either a small cup of espresso or this just stein of beer.
Prune juice on occasion.
Gotta keep yourself regular.
Yeah.
A warrior's beverage.
The warrior's beverage, right?
This fight will be epic. Ah!
Battle of the bowels.
Exactly.
Moving on.
Jumping back in character real quick. Zora's gonna pipe up real fast. I do know of a trader that had issues with dead magic zones. I have a few ideas to avoid them if need be.
I'm sorry, but I imagine Zora had their head down with the straw thing, and they go to lift their head up, and it just flicks whatever their drink is everywhere. I know Zora's more graceful than that, but
So, Scotty?
yeah, cardboard box.
Box.
God fucking damn it, am I that predictable?
No.
Fine, damn it, I'll start chucking around my chakrams next.
Well, it's like you have cardboard box. I have crab themed things.
Dude, I don't need to know what. Oh, themed. Okay.
Yeah. This is what you call deftly avoiding the trap.
Rusty gets around.
Who told?
I mean, you kind of did yourself. You said it.
Crab themed.
Sorry, what
Oh,
were we talking
Lord.
about?
Okay. Dr. Tepish goes, a bit of information about that would be nice. Do you have any particular input that would be more useful as to where we would need to be moving the ring world that would help with that.
Well, do we have a galactic map anywhere?
We did when the communications were working.
Oh, you got something busted needs fixing?
Unfortunately, that requires a quantum chip, which we currently can't get.
I mean, are they just out of stock or we just not know where to get one?
Oh, we know where to get one. We know exactly where to go to get one. We are waiting for the dust storm to pass on the planet's surface. Currently, the winds on the planet's surface are over 800 kilometers an hour. That would shear the metal right off of any craft you attempt to take down to the surface.
I mean, all right then.
We could always move the ring to the system where my flotilla originally was.
There's the dust storm is basically a plot barrier.
Yes, the dust storm is a plot barrier.
It's just they haven't developed that area yet.
No, it's loading, but you don't have the right number of party members. So every time you try and go there, it says you must gather your party before venturing forth.
It's a raid. It's a raid.
It just repeats over and over every time you try to go there.
I fucking hate that.
Your friends aren't there. They're not here. They're somewhere else. You're not all in the same area and you're trying to go that way. And it refuses to load until all your friends walk over here, but they can't because they're somewhere else.
You guys are.
We keep queuing for the raid, but
Yeah,
somehow we're always missing a tank.
right. Yep.
There's always that one asshole that needs to be summoned, but then when we get to him summoned, he keeps declining it for whatever reason.
Yeah, and you can't do it without him because you have the right number of people.
You guys are very lucky. Patience is in here because he would just drive straight into that. He wouldn't care.
Right.
I really hope that that Alt and Colliloquie aren't watching this and be like, some assholes, huh?
No, all we go, yeah, I am.
What do you mean? He is attempting to repair a very broken laptop, so I got to give him props for not being here today for that.
Oh yeah, no, totally, it's legit. But I'm just saying, it's
Info extraction is brain-numbing work.
Well,
I think perhaps Zora's mention is correct. The area where their flotilla previously was is familiar to me. That area of space is prime territory towards being closer to both the known flotilla areas as well as the dead magic zone. Or dead space zone, whatever you want to call it, that is near where you need to go for the remainder of your missions. But not close enough that we're inside it, of course. We're still near enough to still pick up refugees from the war zone area, as well as any type of Ronin that may come from the Lakshayan space, which we've been getting more of lately. The more the government seems to crack down on their military needs, the more Ronin we get to helping us here, which has been very profitable, both for myself and Dr. Under, who is working with a lot of them on their mechanical issues.
wait, now who's this? Doctor who?
Dr. Under, he's the engineer that he lives in the city, mostly working on other strange projects.
Talurra grins and holds up the torch. This is his creation. Almost cut my arm off when we first met him.
This sounds
Dr.
like somebody I ought to
Sampson
get to know.
Under. Dr. Sampson Under. He would be a very useful bit of information if you need anything mechanical modified, especially if you need it modified beyond its means of capacity.
Rusty will just take a look down across his customized armor and his customized weapon loadout and be like, well, I'm sure I'd like to trade some notes, but I think I'm good in the modifications department.
I assure you there are probably some things Dr. Under could teach you.
No doubt.
But in any case, yes, I agree. If that is where we choose to and everyone else is in agreement, I think that Zora's suggestion is probably the best one.
Well, no objections here. Just don't drop us in the middle of a dead magic zone because I ain't getting out.
We would have more than a few problems if I did that.
To be fair, I was thinking about suggesting moving it to the middle of the universe around all of the black holes and Sun explosions.
Yeah.
Didn't think that would work too well for this one, did you?
I mean,
Probably.
Shut up,
pardon
Jesse.
me
They
for
had a
saying it.
base there.
I was just gonna say good luck not running into the Sepulchre Star.
Yeah, that's a really big star.
We've got a ring world. It should
That's
never
true.
be close enough to work.
We have a Hulk. No.
Yeah.
We have several of those actually.
All right then.
No
We
one
are
would get
agreeance.
this. No one would get this but Blake, but Bob, not number.
Bob, not number. Yes, Bob, not number.
We just orc our way through this, and we just like if
Crash
we
the
just,
planet into the planet.
Yeah, no. If everyone just believes strong enough
Right.
that the
So-
ring world is somewhere else, then it will be somewhere else.
I don't
But
believe.
that's an even better way.
I don't believe all of us are pseudo-psionic like that.
Good question though. Like, how big around is this ring world just in terms of its circumference?
From
Or
what,
actually, I
I,
could just take the diameter of it. Really.
from what I remember, it was stupid huge.
Let me get
Like
you
bigger
the
than
calculation.
a planet. Huge.
Well, no, I gathered that like there's the surface area of several Terran-sized masses here, but
I mean, like the thing is, the ring world is so big, it definitely is to Warhammer 40k scale. So applying Warhammer 40k logic to it also is completely valid.
Mhm.
Unless it's ships in that one edition.
In Appendix D of the Dark Matter thing, they have useful facts and conversions, so maybe we can use some of those as a scale.
I honestly always thought that a ring world was
The-
effectively the entirety of an orbit of a planet around a star.
The ring
was-
world is literally what Zora just said, the effective orbit around the particular star.
so it
it
is
is
about an astronomical
39
unit.
It is 39,588,000 miles in diameter.
Okay, so that's almost one third of the distance from the Earth to the Sun.
It is approximately 10,000 Earths.
Yeah, like I said, stupid big.
And
So
I
it definitely
would
could
walk
fit
off
around a
under-
star, but we
Yeah.
might if we thread the needle, so to speak, and like arrive
we won't
around.
need to worry about finding a star. We'll be bringing our star with us.
Well, yes, but what happens if we land around one?
I have a nice empty zone of space near where Zora's flotilla was that could allow us to phase there quite easily. As a nice empty part of space we could use. Nothing is there as far as I'm aware. I will send a probe ahead of us to make sure.
We get there,
Alright,
we're getting there, and it just like goes to that part of space, and it's just a weird like Kuatoan society, and they're just like, giant thing coming, and we just destroy it on the way in.
No, there's a whole uncharted pirate base there, and we just like
We
flatten it.
Yeah, blow it up.
The thing is, like space is like
The club Chugger Federation has finally found a nice empty location.
Most of
is literally
space.
nothing.
Yeah, space is
Ballpark. So
mostly empty
moving it
space.
somewhere else, like if we can move it, moving it somewhere else shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, it's just mostly empty space.
The Club
Most of
Chuggers,
space is in fact nothing.
the
Yeah.
Club Chuggers Mercenary Guild has finally gotten their own abandoned planet as HQ. It's in the middle of nowhere. No one will ever expect us here. Whoa!
If you wanted to supplant it into a different solar system or into a solar system, that would be a problem because we would fuck up that entire solar system's gravitational balance.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. The gravity that this ring world would generate in that situation would be quite immense. So, in that case, then you bring up an old, or Dr. Teppersh brings up an old map on her, on the table you're sitting at. The table is a screen, and brings up an old star map, and she points out the location in general that Zora was suggesting, and kind of zooms in on it.
Just imagine it's like an old paper map, like a pirate map, like Age of Sail style.
Yeah.
Like with like a little monsters drawn on it, and
Right.
Like huge dragons.
You know, that can actually work in Dark Matter. And you just have like the
It
Dark
could,
Matter
yeah.
mega-sized creatures drawn on it.
Yeah, it could. Literally, it actually could. It looks like a little dragon, literally a space dragon.
Hey, we met one of those.
You did.
No.
You pissed it off too.
No, we met a ledge version of one of those, which is somehow worse.
And you pissed it off.
I mean, we didn't. Someone else did.
I said I'm sorry.
You did.
I didn't. I didn't do shit to it.
No, that's true. But dragons
didn't
aren't
punch
really
it for
particular.
once.
You were there. You're just
Hey,
as guilty.
I will punch the fuck out of that ledge. I will punch it till it's dead forever.
Good luck. It's the size of a planet. Good luck.
You don't know how much damage I can do. It doesn't matter that it takes mega damage. I can do mega damage. I got 2 fists in a fucking dream.
Anyway.
Right. Well, in any case, she points it out, and a brief period of time later, the ring world is teleported, and you notice when the ring world moves, the star that's in the center of the ring world literally goes and disappears, and the whole ring world itself kind of flickers and shimmers, and then disappears and reappears in another part of space, and then the star reappears in the middle. As I stated, we are bringing the star with us because it is part of what makes the ring world function. This star was not here before we printed the ring world. When we activated this factory, it was floating by a giant pile of abandoned dwarf planets and asteroids, a huge field of them that were gathering around some gravitational field. Turns out the gravitational field was an old probe, some sort of mass gravity field. When we turned on the factory to print the ring world, the mass gravity field deactivated and become part of the factory. A brief period of time later, we had the ring world printed from all the matter that had gathered in the area. It was strange. That's why I said we still have no idea what some parts of this ring world do, because it was printed from nothing. It's just a bunch of rocks in space and abandoned dwarf planets that happen to be drifting in the area. They got caught in the gravity field, and here we have this colossal craft that is far bigger than anything we could have imagined.
That's dumb.
Sure.
Well, has anybody checked this thing for a Vect Foundry?
It does not have one here, as far as I'm aware.
Because that sounds like the kind of shenanigans that one of those sentient flying foundries might pull.
No, it's as far older than that. This factory we found was well over 100,000 years old.
Speaking of gravity, how is the second star going to affect the other system, the other part of the system?
We're far enough away from the other system, the gravity won't affect it. Although close enough, if you did want to go back to that area, Zora, it is relatively close distance away. The remains of the flotilla are still there. As far as I'm aware, they have been marked as a grave site and are untouchable by people who have respect. It has relatively been untouched by looters, though.
Well, now that's odd. What's keeping them out of there? Because, I mean, I know you said that it's forbidden to people who respect the dead, but that
whoever was involved with the assault, which you know who is involved with the assault. I've told you that.
Yeah. What if my old ship is there and still in one piece?
Yayo.
The fuck did you just say?
Yayo.
EIAO.
It's One Piece.
Dreaming. Don't give it up, Zora.
I love Yayo. What?
It's the 4Kids theme for One Piece. Look it up sometime. In any case,
it is amazing, especially when Garrett Godfrey.
Okay, I've already got 5 different sections of influence for my character. I don't need some never-ending anime bullshit added into it.
You didn't? Wait, you mean you didn't already have that?
Shut up, X.
In any case, the ring world is moved somewhere else. This new part of space seems just as empty as the rest of space in general. And seems to be that there's another solar system not too far off, maybe just a brief click away, not even a jump. So you are here, and the St. Vincent doesn't seem to have any problem finding your location, as within a few hours of the jump, the St. Vincent has docked here. So again, with more refugees, having had your new space coordinates. All the craft have been updated with your new home location, and everything seems to have transitioned rather well.
Stunningly efficient. Well, who wants to go for an explore?
I wouldn't mind to stretch the legs.
Sure. All right, let's
Look
do
at
it.
this, Zettel. We're back home.
Little Scottish dog, just bark, bark. It has like a little mask, just like Zora's.
Okay, one, no. Two, I was doing something very specific for my character. Thank you very much.
It has an eye patch. Oh wait, no, that's corruption game.
Sage and little yappy dogs don't do.
So I think that's all we need to conclude for the safety. I will continue to monitor the area. If anything strange comes up, either myself or Dr. Under will let you know if we run into any strange transmissions. We'll monitor the area to see if anything has been tracking us as well, just to make sure there isn't any tracking devices on board.
We might want to let the Mantis know about this.
Well, Manta Squad was already aware of our new location. They were part of who we informed.
That maybe they should be the ones keeping watch on any unusual pings coming into our system.
It's a good idea. Maybe they have access to something I don't. I will let them know.
We also have them scouting around for anything usable from the flotilla's wreckage.
Sure, if that's within your permission. You're the only survivor.
Everybody looks at Zora. You never did explain that. Exactly, you're in a person screaming in the background.
Damn tabaxi.
So
I think it's a vampire. Callie's playing vampire right now.
You're saying?
long story short, the asshole that we've come in contact with, the one who is in control of the Silver Fleet, he's the same bastard who destroyed my entire flotilla.
I should add, he did do it alone.
Wait,
So it sounds like you need to find him again.
That sounds like quite the dangerous individual to have taken out an entire flotilla by himself.
Not that entire flotilla.
that's not the same sucker that we just dispatched
Well,
in that
that's
little
true.
silver teardrop the other day, was it?
We didn't dispatch him.
I
Teleported out.
have a feeling this won't be the last time we see them.
That's the part that only Zora knew about. Nobody knew how he escaped. Zora succeeded the arcane check to have noticed that he teleported out with a spell that should not exist.
Galactic teleportation.
Even far grander than that.
I was about to say normal teleportation spell, like the galaxy is one plane of existence, and usually
Right.
teleportation works within one plane of existence. So
This
Any
is
teleportation
like a
spell
normal
can-
teleportation, but the spell was so potent that it is definitely far better than just an average teleportation.
It's a mega teleportation.
Like
You
even
could say
plane
that.
shift wouldn't do this.
Right.
hmm.
Well, maybe we should make sure
Is this
there's.
another One Piece reference?
Yeah.
This dude alone taking out an entire flotilla.
He had a very big
I mean-
sword
That is a very much One Piece reference.
and a very
but
nice
Could be,
mustache.
but that's not where I was going.
I
As-
can fix it. I can fix it real quick. We had a special name for someone of this magnitude, a danger this grotesque. We call him
Bill.
Ganon.
Sounds like quite a calamity.
Fixed it.
Sound of duct tape.
Nice.
going off in the back.
I like that.
I've heard legends of this Ganon. A strange wielder of a bat, able to knock anyone as far as they want.
So you must.
Oh,
You okay?
sorry. Pulled some hair out. Ran my fingers through and it was a nut.
So you need to kill him with a Ganon ball.
Maybe.
Jokes aside, his danger to both this space station and the rest of the verse is apparently even grander than we thought initially. We should for sure make sure that we are doing everything we can to eliminate him. Although, even if we eliminate him, something tells me we're still going to have to deal with that armada that the Silver Fleet has, which definitely outnumbers our current size and number of ships that we command, even if we include all of the Mantis squad. We're going to need some more help. Something tells me that after we repair this communications array, our next mission should be recruiting people to our own armada so that we can make sure we have our own sizable fleet to take out this mysterious captain. Just my suggestion. But feel free to look around. The Ring World has many parts that are unexplored, or you could pop over to the other galaxy we are next to and see what's going on over there.
Just gonna hop on over to the other galaxy. I don't think that's quite what you meant to say.
Zora, did you want to see if there's anything left?
Exactly what I just said, yes. Whether it's the Mantis squad or if we happen to be out that way, we have some very particular things that I'd like to look for.
The security drones in the area should allow you to go so long as you are all on the same craft that Zora is on.
Well, if anyone should be doing this, it should definitely be you.
The biosignature will allow you to go in so long as Zora is in your craft.
I can sense a strong connection with you in this area.
It's my flotilla. Of course there's a strong connection. Have I hit you too many times with a cardboard box?
I don't think you've hit me that often.
He is old.
Scratches the back of his head and twitches.
There's a cardboard box already lodged in the back of his head.
Well, I was
don't think
thinking.
you've hit me that often.
Well, I was thinking most of the time he just like pushes it away with psionics, but sometimes he just doesn't care and just lets it bonk him. So.
A few too many boxes to the head.
At least it's not a boot.
It's true. It's
Give me ideas, Scotty.
It can be arranged.
So long as that boot is not also a mimic.
God, the boot mimic. That is
Mimic
that
boot.
is so evil. Boot mimic.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Right?
That'd be like your cursed metal boot, but it tries to eat you instead.
It would be way worse than my cursed metal boot.
Sorry.
Anyway, wouldn't be as cool as the boot though, because the boot was made by dwarves. Obviously, they make everything cooler than everyone else does. So that aside, you decide to pop over to the hangar, and what ship do you choose to take with you? You have a plethora of them that can take all of you there.
If I remember correctly, the drill ship would probably be the biggest that can store additional ships if we happen to find anything, including salvage, right?
Yeah, which one has the biggest cargo hold?
The biggest cargo hold is Big Sister, the freighter.
Yeah, I want to say because I don't think the drill diver can hold anything.
Yeah, and we would have
Except for us.
security drones around, so it's it might not be the best in combat, but
I was going to
that
say,
can compensate.
are we planning to scuffle? Because
I just want to point out that last time I was here, actually, I used the Big Sister to squash like a warframe on the hull of it. So
yeah,
Big Sister it is.
perfectly capable.
The
in
Big
combat.
Sister's weapon array is 2 heavy cannons and an arcane cannon, which is more firepower than a lot of the other craft you have. Rusty's ship aside.
I mean, Rusty's ship is good for dogfighting and whacking things, but the arcane cannon is the arcane cannon is still very, very much its own thing.
Yeah.
Chemical
I mean,
sized
we can do
pulse.
exactly what we did with the last engagement, right? Bring the big sister and then launch ships that we want from it when we need to fight.
Inside of this field, if I'm not on the craft, you'll be individually
Oh.
targeted by a
The
security.
security drones will attack you if you're
Then we're going to need to take the
Zora's not on the
freighter,
craft.
or we're going to have to. I still think the freighter is our best bet.
That being said, between the arcane cannons and the regular cannons, I don't even need to use anything for some of my mega spells, so we should be fine.
Right. And the cannons, the arcane or the heavy cannons, the two of them can be used individually. They don't both have to fire at once. So two different people could fire heavy cannons if you all wanted to get in on it. One person can fire the arcane cannon, two people could fire the heavy cannon. There's a pilot, and then Zora can do Zora's thing. That's pretty much all of you.
Flying outside on top of the ship with the cape blowing in the wind.
I'm best utilized outside whacking things.
Though we can't leave the ship because then we get blown up.
Yeah, there's security drones in the area.
Do you... Okay, I'm not going to actually suggest this is out of character. But imagine if Rusty took his vehicle's arms and he cut them off and put them onto Big Sister, and he just controls these arms with the mace.
Now look here.
We're just getting into outlaw star territory.
There we are.
I will be more than happy to install a pair of manipulator arms on the outside of this craft, but I am not taking them off of my own.
It'll be like like the submarine arms, like it'd be like in that position.
Waldo. Yeah, and yes, I've seen Outlaw Star, and I understand in very
You imagine
very
the Big Sister, which is literally a large box facing this way and another large box facing this way with two tiny arms underneath it.
It's like the T-Rex of shipping.
It would be the T-Rex of shipping. It's just this large box with another large box and then two teeny arms.
Can we call her Sue?
You have to change the name.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
You got a big head, little arms.
Makes a relatively small bowler hat on top.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. You'd have to rename it the Thesaurus Rex.
The Saurus.
The Thesaurus Rex, yeah.
No arms for Big Sis.
It's definite article. It's the Saurus. It's that one right there. It's
Yeah,
the Saurus.
The Saurus.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
So you've decided to take Big Sister out for the stroll since that's the one that can carry the most things inside of it if you happen to find debris or some other craft. I'm assuming you leave some of the other craft here to make more hangar bay space for other ships. Maybe just take a couple of the fighters because they fit into smaller ports on the side, and leave all three of the other big craft here. So you're really literally not even a jump away from the ring world now.
Mm-hmm.
Would like to take my fighter if nothing else.
All right, you can if you want.
Yeah. And of
I
course,
think we might need
the crab tank has to go
these.
too. Oh, the red dice of doom.
This is the links.
the universe trembles ever so slightly at their release.
Freezing, but yes.
Thank you.
I'll just have to charge at my lucky glow in the dark D20.
Ooh, fancy.
Here, I'll bring out my big honkin' chonker. Where is that thing?
I'd get my duck dice, but they're in the other room.
Get my big honkin' chonker.
Oh, the table record.
My
Nice.
player. No, this is Hera knows this. This is my player killing dice.
Because it kills players, or because you killed somebody with it throwing it at the table?
Yes. You die in the game, you die in real life.
I was gonna say,
This thing like listen, I'll just drop it onto my desk from about half a foot.
this video right here, officers.
It literally, and that's through my mouse pad.
that thunk, man. It's lovely.
Hera can confirm this because I use this for a Curse of Strahd game.
There we go.
used
Got
to,
it
to
glowing
kill
under
my
its own light.
adopted daughter.
Yeah, it did. It killed your
Awesome.
adoptive daughter. Your daughter killing dice.
All right.
Alright.
That aside, you take the big sister freighter craft out and travel into the sector of space that the flotilla Zora was from is at. In the distance, you see the wreckage of quite a large number of ships. They're all kind of floating together in a clump. And floating around that wreckage or flying around that wreckage are several orb-shaped drones that you identify as universal security drones that are usually deployed to a grave site. And these grave sites are marked as unapproachable, basically, unless you are someone who is with the grave site, which pretty much gives you access to whatever is there. The drones won't mess with you so long as that person or persons are present for the grave site. This is generally done to kind of keep looters away from important craft or wreckage that is deemed to be like a tragedy. So somebody from some government somewhere labeled this as a tragedy and has deployed security drones here. These drones are automated, and each drone has 2 heavy cannons, and there are about 10 of them.
Oh boy.
So as you approach, the drones all look your direction in a very ominous manner and scan the craft with a large cone of many overlapping red beams. And as that happens, Zora happens to just ever so slightly illuminate as the craft is being scanned by the scanners. And as this happens, then all the drones just go back to whatever they were doing before, patrolling around and moving about the outside area of the flotilla. They are also keeping the debris of this space wreckage together. So if any of the debris happens to drift out of the area, they push it back into the designated space that they're in. So some of the drones are doing that as well. The security drones do leave you alone, though, the minute the scan is complete of your craft. No message is sent across, no information was relayed.
So, question extrapolating out from what was just said about the debris fields and like the
Mhm.
way it's kept from expanding. Does that mean that basically the drones are like playing an eternal game of like ball with each other with the pieces of debris?
Yeah.
Wow.
At least until it's no longer marked as a graveyard and things are
Right.
cut through the red tape effectively.
Yeah. Once the red tape is removed, then the drones are recalled. And, I mean,
Everything drifts away.
since Zora's here, to be honest, if you guys scrapped the whole thing, then it would no longer be a grave site and the drones would be recalled. But
Rusty starts rolling up his sleeves.
I'm
Let's
not
get to it.
saying I'm not saying you guys are going to do that, but that's what would happen.
We
There's
would
a
never
lot of
need
debris
materials
here,
again.
and this debris is far more than you think you could take, even in Big Sister. The debris here is just phenomenal in its size. So there is a lot of ships here that were devastated. Some of them as big as Big Sister, quite a few of them actually.
Well, to try and make this a little bit easier, because I don't like being in the spotlight too much, I would probably designate the search for anything that has the royal insignia on any type on the side of the debris, any type of hangars in that particular designation, anything like that.
Okay. There is a larger craft amongst them that is even bigger than Big Sister. This craft looks to be made of some sort of brilliantly white and gold, sort of like painted exterior with blue accents and some red about the outside of the craft. The insignia is that of a shield that has like a triangle that has triangles in it, and a sword that goes behind it. So that's the insignia you see on this craft in rather large print on the center of it. And this craft is way bigger than even Big Sister. And it sort of is like a disc-like in nature. And the craft itself looks as though it's definitely not meant for any kind of landing. This craft would definitely stay in space. It would never land on a planet in any case. This might be some sort of like with the number of docking stations that it has around it. This might be some sort of central craft or like central governmental building for the flotilla.
So this
That's
is
impressive.
you say flotilla. So this is gnomish make.
No, this flotilla looks humanoid in its make, but unlike anything you've seen from other parts of the verse.
Just from that description alone, I'm having a very hard time suppressing the urge to throw that entire ring like a shot. Yeah, it's probably where I'd head for the scan.
Thank you.
All right, you head towards that large structure. As you get closer, you notice sort of a lot of like the internal buildings on the inside all look medieval. They have a stone brick look construction to them. They look like castles with parapets and battlements and such. All the buildings inside look like medieval stone buildings in their design. This looks intentional, like they made them look this way on purpose, like sort of as a design aesthetic, perhaps of whoever built these buildings. And as you approach the station, I think Big Sister has a scanner. Pretty sure it does. Yes, it has sensors. Okay. You scan the building, scan the craft, and the craft reveals a bit of important information that it fits along what you're looking for, Zora.
Well, that's where I got to be scanning. I'm looking for any piece or whole ship that I can find of fighter class. I don't want anything specific, but if I can find any of the crafts, that would be useful.
There is a fighter craft that is intact. It might need like towed or pushed out into space so that Big Sister could grab it, but it is intact. It could possibly be jumped if Rusty or someone else could maybe give it a jump.
Yeah, I reckon we can get it.
Is the main craft salvageable and repairable?
The large main central craft looks as though it would possibly need quite a bit of repair before it could be usable, but it could be usable if repairs were made to it. You would need something that's able to build things. If only you had a toolbox with you, one that had legs, that was an NPC. One that's never been used up until this point for anything.
I mean, we can bring this thing back to the ring world.
So can we?
Is the luggage here? What's going on? Like,
can we just say that Rusty happened to think and bring Gizmo along with us? Not Gizmo.
Blue.
oh yeah, that's blue.
That's right. We put you in charge of Blue because you guys are going to get along swimmingly.
Because he's petrified of the thing.
That's why we stuck Rusty with Blue. You know how like you have anxiety. You're like it's like a what is it called? Like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You also have A163RT.
Yes, we also have Alert.
Yeah, Alert is also a walking toolbox.
I mean, yeah, but we can just like tow this thing, right?
Yeah, we can tow it so we don't have to worry about getting shot by the drones.
I reckon.
Yeah, their idea of hauling the entire thing instead of just pulling one or two ships out of there is
But
phenomenal.
I mean,
Okay.
It's zero gravity, so
Is it
slightly
still
of thrust doesn't matter.
it means we don't have to worry about getting targeted and having to juggle Zora around.
Rusty, you think using some of the salvage in the area, you could whip up a tether system rather quickly?
For sure. I'll get right on
Give
that.
me a check.
Would you prefer technology or
Technology, sir.
All right.
Technology.
with pleasure? And aplomb.
Would that be at advantage since I'm trying to help him pinpoint what bits and pieces of technology would be useful?
Yes. You also know the proper points to attach it where it's not going to rip the thing to pieces.
You know where the tow hook hole is.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Okay, well, I have my advantage just in case. Wow.
Ironically, those symbols all look like a grappling hook.
27 with advantage.
They do. 27. You deftly craft in fairly record time a tether system to be used. And with the points that Zora has pointed out, which look exactly like a grappling hook on the craft, you connect your tether system to these areas, and Big Sister is now capable of towing the large flotilla building out of the area.
It's almost like I've done this before.
And a few moments later, and a safe distance away from the swarm of security drones, the security drones don't follow or don't even engage as you tow it away.
I just had the thought, okay, we tow this thing away and the security drones just move with us.
No, they don't. They leave you alone because you're with the person who's allowed to mess with this site.
Are you suggesting taking the entirety of the grave site with us back to the ring world just to have security bots? Because I'm not against it.
I feel like there'd be a problem with that. It's the fact that no one else but you is certified for this. So
I mean, that's not exactly my
What
problem.
would happen if one of us that isn't Zora would leave the ship, actually?
Yeah, that would be the problem. Somebody other than Zora would leave and get bombarded by 10 security drones.
That would
Well,
be.
now here's the question though: is it keyed off of some piece in the wreckage that's got a centralized beacon, or is it just
Wait,
geo-locked to this region of space? Then we can take all the shit and just leave the region of space, and the drones will still be here.
Yeah. Actually, if you loaded up a bunch of debris into the central structure and then towed all of it away, they would guard whatever debris is left because they're geo-locked to the debris that's there. If you take all of the debris with you, which is not possible, but if you take all the debris with you, they would leave.
Not with that
Oh,
attitude.
they latch onto Zora's DNA, right?
Yeah, they're synchronized.
If we wanted to,
we
leave
cut
the
Zora
ship,
up into pieces.
we cut Zora up into pieces.
No, we get Norded, but it's Zora instead of Xehanort.
Hey,
Now,
hey, Zora,
y'all,
did
I
you
don't
leave the
know a
ship?
whole
Lend me
lot
a
about-
hand?
I don't know a whole lot about how these security drones are wired, but I reckon Dr. Tepish might be able to whip us up a little genetic sequence emulator.
To
I
be
mean, they
fair,
can-
there's probably enough of her blood on that battlefield already.
It might be.
The drones can. I mean, we do need the drones. The drones can just stay there. Then whatever.
I have fought.
They're security drones. They are not a serious threat unless they're in large numbers like that. Individually, they're
I have fought.
poor.
I have fought many drones and Vex in my younger day, but I would say that this could be a very useful tool to have for the ring. Though it is convenient for you, Zora, that they just are under your control. It would probably be wiser if we could have them do things when you're not around as well. What if you wanted to move them somewhere else and you weren't nearby?
They're not under my control. They are politically here to preserve the gravesite until things are taken care of. We're only taking a bit of it with us.
I should
I can
state
respect
that this
that
craft
decision.
is still quite gigantic. Big Sister is huge in size already because it's a freighter. This craft is like 2 of Big Sister in size,
Oh.
maybe 3.
Oh, Rusty, that smells amazing. What did you 3D print there?
This is synth sirloin and I don't know, seaweed noodles.
That sounds really good.
It actually is really good. What I was just going to say though is we had a trick back home in the war zone. It's called a net, where you basically just you weave together a whole bunch of tow cables and you make yourself a big net, and then you and 3 of your buddies in their rigs, you just drive around and scoop up whatever it is you're looking to pull.
Most of the debris is not part of military aspects. It's living quarters, homes. This, what we're pulling here, specifically the Royal Armada, specifically the fighters, specifically what I was looking for. Everything else can wait.
Do you think it would be better if we went into these wreckages in person? Or should we just take the entire wreckages with us?
I don't reckon she wants to take it all right now.
Well, in these wreckages, nobody can go despite Zora unless you want to deal with the drones.
Universe here.
Uh-huh.
Is this like a certain being within a certain parameter of them, or like what I'm saying is hypothetically, if we brought Big Sister over and we all went into like a wrecked ship, would that be fine, or would it still be like everybody but Zora is threat and just shoot the shit out of it?
If Zora was with you and you went into the wreckage, you would be fine. If you towed the wreckage somewhere else, you're fine. But if you guys all kind of leave Big Sister and just go do your own thing and Zora's not with you, you're a threat.
Gotcha.
Because that's how the programming of the drones work. It's not a person. It's not intelligent enough to go, you're still with them. It just says new threat detected, attack. It's a very primitive programming, but it works.
Mostly, what's the distance that Zora needs to be to us for us to be considered not threats?
Within it, I'd assume.
Yeah, within a vicinity.
What I'm saying is, like, if Zora took a ship out, they're like 5,000 feet away, so
Yes,
like one
because
grid
they're not
space
inside the
away.
ship. It's inside the vicinity
Okay.
of the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was how.
Right.
That was how it was worded. At least how he
Yep.
like it was worded.
Yeah, that's exactly how it functions. So as long as Zora is with you in the vicinity of wherever you all are, you're fine. If like Zora goes down and does Zora's own thing, you guys are all dead. As far as auto cannons go for this craft.
Just to try and help cut this a little short, I also only want to get the fighter bay out of there. I don't want to go into our
Right.
of going in through individual
Yeah.
areas.
Right.
I
And a
was
good
thinking
majority-
it would be like a dungeon dive, like we go into a wrecked ship and we're just going through
a good
alleyways.
majority of the rest of the flotilla that's in space that's not this building is like small craft. Like we're talking Big Sister or smaller craft. So like it wouldn't be like a huge area to explore. A lot of the rest of the flotilla were transport ships and stuff. This is like the main fighter hangar bay / like government building that the flotilla had.
Is Rusty piloting Big Sister?
No,
Helix
Helix is.
is.
Oh,
This is her baby.
And
Right.
Just as a quick note, we can't go dungeon diving within the flotilla because I lost my tablet in the original onset.
okay.
Okay, so a lot of you haven't played Breath of the Wild. Any
I know what you mean.
dungeon he went into in the game, he had to have the tablet for to access.
Yeah, you had to watch the same freaking cutscene every time.
But
no,
Sage,
it was different. They were all in different locations. despite
Sage,
the
you're forgetting
outside-
one key thing.
Oh, dear,
We know
what?
speedrun strats. You don't need the tablet for speedrun strats.
So we do a few backflips and we have a shield and we just go into it. And, okay.
I mean, Talurra literally can teleport.
Well, I don't think you could use any of those strats to get into the dungeons originally if it wasn't already unlocked. But
Right.
but
You
let's
can break
jump
any
away
wall
from
if you
that.
hit it hard enough. I know.
Okay, side
Sage,
tangent
I have a-
in Retroverse. That's what I was wanting, like corruption to work, like with that shit that people do in speedruns, where they like just glitch through places.
That would be cool.
Nice.
The Glitchamar can do that now in V3.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, anyway, back to this. All right.
Anyway,
Then
yeah,
we're just taking that one specific hunk of wreckage.
you tow the largest hunk, but you tow it away from the area and back towards your part of space near the ring world, as it were. You tow it to a safe gravitational distance from the ring world, so if it starts to rotate, it's not going to hit the ring world in any way. And kind of leave it there so you can go in to explore what's going on, or to get in to get what you need from the building.
So
So, do we have? Okay, so what I'm
Say
hearing
that
is-
again, Zora.
I was just going to say that would also be an awesome segue if I needed to skip the next session. I'd just be exploring that the entire time.
Right. Yeah. See, perfect.
Well, I mean, are we not going to go in there ourselves and pull them out of there? Because
I would request not to do that at first. I need to see what is in there currently before we start having an entire team rip it apart.
I
thought it was an exploration and expedition, but all right.
I understand. And Zora, you probably don't care, but you can see some form of sympathy in Dalgar's eyes.
It's probably appreciated, but
Despite your guys' rivalry.
it's not a rivalry. I just like hitting you in the back of the head.
It's a
with
fun
cardboard
game.
box.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
It's not rivalry. What?
It's
not
bullying,
rivalry.
got it.
No, Zora just really enjoys boxing.
Oh, and there goes Rusty. That's good. That's good background to switch to.
You did just say be right back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm willing to say that I am egotistical enough to say that was definitely me. Hit you left because of me. Totally.
All right. So Zora, do you want to go in first and kind of look around?
Truth be told, I would strongly request not doing this on camera, just so I'm not in the spotlight anymore. I'm cooking right now. It's been way too long focused on me.
No, it's fine. We can kind of, if you want everyone else to kind of tag along, we can kind of take the group and I can kind of focus away from you in that spect if you want.
I mean, it's your game if that's the way you want to roll it.
It's up to you in character, but I can kind of do whatever.
My brain is borderline panicking because of being the focus for so long. That's why I'm trying to segue.
Okay, no problem.
I think now that we've got the wreckage out and we can explore that at our leisure, maybe we should be checking out the local gnome outposts.
Yeah.
See if we can find any weapons and armor that we'd be able to use in the dead zone if that ever comes to be.
Well, when that comes to be, because you know that's your final destination. You know the radio tower that's transmitting the demonic signal through the verse is coming from within a dead zone. So you need to go through a dead zone to get to it. And this is a separate problem. This is a separate problem from the cosmic ooze that has also become part of the quest. There's two separate problems going on at the same time. Double main quest. I don't fool around.
Damn. What if we just take the ooze and we throw it towards the demonic radio signal? Oh, wait.
Yeah, that won't work out horribly. No.
That would work if it were not a giant amorphic blob made from the demon lord Jubilex.
To get into, not to get too far into Warhammer, that doesn't work out. They've tried it.
No. Yeah.
Why don't we take this one Xeno threat and we guide it towards the other one?
This won't become a compound problem at all.
Now we have motherfucking orc Tyranids.
Yeah.
Yay!
Right.
They're not making each other stronger or anything.
As if it couldn't get worse.
So what you're saying is that we have orc arachnids.
Orc arachnids. Oh, that was a good one.
That's awesome.
Just remember, it
Porks.
can always get worse.
They're squid. They're squigonids.
It literally can always get worse.
It could be worse.
It could always be worse.
They could be space marines.
That's true.
It's true. All right.
Most boring of group.
You definitely decide that you're going to go check out some gnome flotillas in the area now that you can kind of explore that at your leisure. It's a safe distance away. You've got it away from the flotilla. You kind of need to. You're just going to leave it alone for a while and let Zora look at it later on Zora's own time. And then maybe if Zora thinks it's necessary, all of you can come in and look at it later. So you decide to go check out some gnome flotillas in the area. Thankfully, there's not too far off, just a simple jump away, the whole gnome flotilla, like the entire gnome flotilla, is actually not too far from this location. And I'm assuming you're just gonna take Big Sister there. You're already here.
Yeah.
Yep. Why not?
Okay.
Also, if we end up, like, I don't know, buying something, trading, whatever, then we have like a big ship that we can put all our stuff in.
Right. Nothing happens. You get there uneventfully, thankfully. And you arrive, and the area is filled with odd-looking craft, to say the least. You are used to a lot of dark matter drives and dark matter craft that you have seen quite a large number of. Dwarf craft commonly incorporate some form of rock or large boulders or moon shapes, or whole moons, in fact, in some cases, into their construction. Elven craft have a tendency to look very wooden, even though they're not made out of wood, or very natural on the inside and the outside, where it looks like a piece of nature in some way. Human craft have a tendency to look phallic or bulbous, and
Classic humans.
Orc craft looked as though they're cobbled together from other craft that have been kind of salvage wars pasted together, which is common for orc crafts. These craft look very strange indeed. They're very angular. The craft have a tendency to form very pyramidic structures, kind of in a compound nature, where they're like multiple pyramids stacked together or in some particular way. There's very pyramidal shapes and very, very trapezoidal shapes as well. You notice a pattern where it's either trapezoidal shapes or a pyramid type shape. It's very similar in that, in almost universally across the board. One particular large trapezoid looks as though it's definitely a trading port of some kind, as there are a ton of craft coming in and out of there.
It's not a pyramid ship, it's a multi-level market.
Right.
You could say it's a citadel.
I was just making an MLM joke, but okay.
Oh,
I want to
sorry.
go to each and every one of the shops, ask for a discount, record my voice.
You're not that famous yet.
It's the GSS Ponzi.
They got a hard meteor cafe.
Right. Nice. You arrive at the one of the trade craft that's nearby, this large trapezoidal one you see a lot of ships coming in and out of. There's plenty of open bays. You park there, and a gnome kind of approaches, and they have a rather interesting looking space suit made of what apparently is either their favorite color or the coloration of a merchant. You're not sure which. It's very orange and has bright green stripes down the down the sides of it. Kind of like suspenders, but obviously not suspenders, as they're built into the suit. They approach and they have a pad of like a computerized tablet of some kind in their hand, and a strange glove on their other hand.
Dalgar.
The strange glove has lots of knobs and buttons and switches on it and tubes.
Dalgar's wearing his brown cloak, and he's got his hood up and his arms in his sleeves. You know, the classic laser knight traveling attire.
Right.
Does the glove say anything about power or have the word Nintendo?
You don't see any. Perhaps there is a version of the glove that does say that, but it is very similar in design to the Nintendo Power Glove, yes. But with a bunch of tubes and large wires running off of it to a kind of canister backpack. The canister backpack looks like it's filled with some sort of glowing blue sloshy liquid. It seems to slosh around.
Quantum. Mm.
Basically, a professional cosplayer got a hold of a power glove and just went whole ham on it.
Yeah, okay. Pretty much.
Oh shit! There's Mountain Dew in there.
Tube sticking
Code
in
blue.
it.
There's Mountain Dew in there. That's gonna be some acid damage.
Yeah. It's
Code blue,
as if
code
you
blue,
were to
guys.
make a glowing version of this.
Yeah.
So code blue. So code blue is effectively what that is. I don't know if you ever
looks-
seen Mountain Dew code blue.
It looks just like Nuka-Cola Quantum.
I have
You
not.
need our world reference.
And you need to share code blue with us in Discord. But in
oh
any
my
case,
god.
Blake, you need a coaster that has a light on the bottom for that specifically.
Yeah, I do. I want to get one for that eventually. A little coaster that lights up so it glows. Yeah. In any case, they approach the craft and kind of like click a button on their neck, and their helmet lifts up as your craft, as you all kind of come off the craft. Welcome. And what can I get you today? What sort of things do you need? Goods do you wish to peruse?
We were hoping to find some equipment that we could use when we were visiting the Dead Zone.
Visiting a dead zone, eh? Well, you won't you won't need that giant dark matter drive you probably have in that huge box. It's not going to do you any good in there. That's for certain. You're going to need a quantum drive, and there's only 2 ways to get one. Luckily, I know how. So you either need a quantum chip or you need some crystals.
Can I?
And not just any crystals. They have to be crystals from the Crystal Prime planet. Good luck getting there.
Is it out of character? Is it wrong that I want to ask him if there's a candy shop aboard called the Lollipop Guild?
That is where I got the voice from. Thank you.
Shit.
All my gnome voices sound like that. If you've heard this voice before, you'll hear it again.
It's gnomes are kind of canonically nasally
Just
in nature.
Yeah, very nosy as far as their voice goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what can I get for you?
I'd like to explore your ways.
I do know a little bit about chips. Would I know that if what he's saying is actually true?
Sure,
Or if
you
he's trying
can.
to just
You can make
sell
a
us something?
technology check
Or insight, maybe.
or insight.
I think I'm going to go with technology because I am pretty sure that's much better than my insight. Yes, it is. That's a 25.
25 tells you that he is in fact 100% correct. That you would either need a quantum chip, which can't be manufactured, but can be located in Redlock facilities or Redlock ships. And you also know that the only other way to get a quantum drive is to find crystals from Crystallis Prime, which is a drifting planet that drifts around the Prime Nebula, which is a very dangerous nebula filled with space sharks.
Prime
And
Nebula.
I assume there's also like a third way, that is stealing a ship that already has such a drive.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's the illegal way, but yes.
That's the other legal way, yeah. Now, unfortunately for you, I don't have any quantum chips in stock. Not that I would, because those things are rare and impossible to find. Crystals from Crystallis Prime don't last very long, so I may have a few sitting around, but the fresh ones are often best. And you'd need a pretty big one for this craft.
Can those drives also be transferred?
Actually, no. It's the size of the crystal anyway, is literally conformant to the craft. Now, if you found a quantum chip to build the drive with, then sure, your quantum drive can be put to wherever you want it. But if you use crystals, no, because it's relative to the size of the craft.
I'm not sure how much of Voltron you've watched, but it reminds me of the crystal lenses they had in the castle.
Yeah, that's where I got the idea from.
Do they all have like all of their ships have quantum drives, right?
All the gnome ships, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anyone that is the size of Big Sister?
A gnomish freighter might be, but there's none that are like floating around in the area.
I don't need to roleplay this out if you don't want to, but Dalgar is just essentially going to find a non-magical blaster, maybe a rifle or something that he could use.
He turns his tablet around and plugs it into a little console that pops up out of the floor, and the console brings up holograms that each of you can kind of scroll through. So if you want to purchase a good, you can select what you want from this holographic display, and he literally goes and pushes some buttons on the glove he has and pulls whatever you have out of nothing, as if he's just pulling it out of reality.
Blasters, Dolgar, so uncivilized.
He pulls out a blaster that's like a non-magic blaster. That's basically just like a standard issue blaster.
Well, you know our laser swords will not work in a dead zone. The power sources inside are magical.
If I'm not mistaken, so long as we're still holding on to it, it should work just fine as part of our own personal field, should it not?
I'll leave this up to the verse.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking Jesse's rules. I'm sorry. Yeah, how would yours work?
A dead magic zone is a dead magic zone. Anything that is considered magical does not work.
They're technically powered by magic, that's why I was wondering. But if you want to say they're not powered by magic, then
There
that's
are
whatever.
laser swords that they had here for sale that aren't magical. that are powered by a different source.
So it's essentially just a flavor change.
Yeah,
Okay.
So then I have a very large question to ask.
sure.
Considering my gear was made by a craftsman in our party, would that be considered technological? and not-
Rusty made your stuff. Rusty is not a wizard. Your stuff is technological, not
Woohoo!
magical. Dalgar's stuff is indeed magical.
Oh,
Paragraphs worth of upgrades that I got, and I was
Yeah.
freaking the fuck out thinking
Yeah,
they
no.
were useless.
Nope, yeah.
I mean, I'm entirely useless.
Yeah, like all of
Still
Helix's
punch
being
shit.
is useless.
I think I can still survive like the symbiote and I like we don't fucking die, but I have literally nothing if I'm in a no magic zone. Nothing.
All sorts of weapons and gear that function in dead zones. I've got all of it here.
I mean,
Talurra,
Anything you want to
I
practice?
still punch these
I mean, the
motherfuckers.
problem is even if Helix did get a weapon, I'm not sure she's proficient.
She had a proficiency.
I
on
don't
set
worry
weapons.
about proficiencies. This is super sci-fi future. I could just say you matrix
Also-
your way into learning proficiencies. I'm not worried
Oh
about
no,
that
she
shit.
does have simple blaster.
I was gonna say you should definitely have simple blasters at the very least. Like almost every single class gets simple.
I now want to create a character in at least one of your universes that can use a table with proficiency. Just pick it up. And
I mean,
bash somebody over the
hey.
head with it.
Drunken monk.
Sage, let me tell you
Drunken monk.
let me tell you about my
Scotty's drunken
wrestler.
monk because you get improvised weapon proficiency, which would count tables, bar stools.
That's
Top.
super early 5e. The Wizards version also has that, and mine was broken and shit.
Let me tell you
I
about
like
the
his version better than Wizards.
Mhm.
let me tell you.
You could do the
about
corkscrew move.
Yeah.
The techno barbarian in Retroverse, which gives you improvised weapons
Proficiency.
proficiency, and I used it to absolutely clatter a dragon with a chair with another person who was clattering it with a henshin weapon chair.
Nice.
It was great. I also that was Omen, who I also wrestled the dragon as well at the same time.
That sounded familiar.
I remember that.
Uh,
Hard to forget.
Drunk
It
Mastermind
is honestly
actually
one of
does
my
not
favorite
get,
things.
improvised weapon proficiency. It's the Tavern Brawler that gets that.
Right. Okay. My bad. Any case.
How dare you?
In any case,
Ooh.
there is all manner of different weaponry here and equipment, as well as gear and stuff that would function in a dead magic zone. You know that the hollow solograms and your light suits will still function in a dead magic zone, as well as the light suit submarine gear that some of you have as your armor. That would also function in the dead magic zone because it was made with technology and not dark matter tech. Scotty, most of your character's gear was made with dark matter tech, so you would have to get a different version. I will let you trade it in as a one-to-one in this particular instance, since it was something that was kind of backstory-esque, if you wanted.
Hey, Scotty, I got a
So-
question for you.
Mhm.
Does it need to be a laser sword?
If I want to use to its peak efficiency, yes. But also, Dalgar is monk as fuck. So literally, like, all I have in material possessions are the clothes I'm wearing and the sword. So all I need to do is just get another sword. It's fine.
Because
Yeah,
I have 2 scimitars.
yours uses some sort of magic crystal power, and theirs uses like a laser and a battery.
Mechanically, I'm proficient with literally all martial, simple, ranged, and melee. So
Do you want a scimitar? I have 2 of them.
Would the symbiote still protect me?
what-
Yes,
life
I gotta ask, what do your scimitars look
Yeah.
like?
because
Um,
the symbiote's using its own ability to keep you alive, which is
honestly,
not magical within itself.
I got these at the beginning of the
I
campaign
know.
from Colliloquie's characters, and I do not remember who they belonged to.
No,
Wait, all my
Quetzalli's
psionic
character, they
spells
stole it.
still work.
Say,
No,
say that
we-
again, Helix.
All of my psionic spells also still work
Psionics,
because they're
Is-
psionics and not
it's
spells.
not magical. So yes, psionics specifically would work.
So I actually still have a decent number of abilities that
'Cause, yeah, I
cast
have-
in a limited way.
I have a shit ton of weapons if anyone needs them, because I've never used my weapons. I've just punched things. I have 2 scimitars, a photonic lash, an antimatter dagger, and a plasma cutter. Granted,
Talurra, can you roll insight real quick on Dalgar?
Insight?
Mhm.
Yep. Inside. All right, that's a 15.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be too hard to beat, but it looks like he's trying to say without saying that he probably does need a ranged weapon at some point. So this is just an excuse to get some blaster.
You know, Rusty would be awfully hurt if he had heard that entire conversation instead of just walked up right now.
We'll say he walked up right now, and you hear like Dalgar is looking for a blaster.
Well, shit.
Yes.
Oh, nothing. Just go on ahead and finish your shopping. I'll be over here looking at warp engines.
Oh no, somebody hurt his feelings. So sad. Anyways.
Brutal.
Dalgar is going to try to look for parts of blasters. It would be cheaper to buy them separately and probably be more efficient if someone knows how to craft them.
You know that the gnomes love parts, and so they have just a general bucket load of parts for practically everything, and they are literally a quarter the cost of the blaster.
Yeah, Rusty kind of got lost looking through all the aisles. He's like a kid in a candy store down here.
Yeah. Like the holographics displays for the spare parts that they have are legendary in size. Like you have to put VR goggles on to see all of the spare parts they have. That's how many spare parts they have. The rest of the stuff you can just flip through a display of what's available. The spare parts, they're just like, put this on. You just change your glasses to put on, and you're like, oh shit.
And you just hear like the do 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 music, and it's just like scrolling like crazy.
Wait. I have to ask. So there is a shop canonically, in your universe that they literally have to plug into the Matrix just to be able to see all of the stock.
Yes.
Oh my fucking god.
What do you need? Stuff. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, that's what happens. It gives you the goggles and you're like, whoa. It's like stuff everywhere.
So yeah, Rusty is really just in his glory in this place.
It's just a scrapyard dreamland. And all these parts are 1/4 whatever they're supposed to be. Like whatever the cost of what you're building is, getting the spare parts is 1/4 the cost.
Okay.
For the parts. You just have to build it yourself. They're not doing it for you.
All I'll say is that's not a wrench in his pocket right now.
Scotty, instead of buying a blaster for full price, just charge whatever 1/4 of the blaster price cost is, and that's what you paid.
Can Rusty go for a look around the scrapyard for the ships?
Can I trade some of the ship scrap that I have set my inventory for it? Because I don't have any money. I don't think any of us have really money per se.
We all got 1,000 after that last.
Yeah, you all got 1,000 after 1,000 credits after the last.
Oh, public credits will do fine.
Public credits will be fine.
Dalgar actually,
everyone got 1,000 credits.
Hypothetically, Dalgar would not have the credits for wherever he came from in fear of someone figuring that out when he's using it.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's like I thought they were supposed to be untraceable, but
it's kind of the equivalent of like, oh, here's like currency that's only used in a Sith planet, and it's like, oh, okay.
You're from there, okay?
Yeah.
What's that supposed to mean?
So, okay, I have a lot of questions. So I actually have like a whole shopping list of add-ons.
Oh boy!
Maybe we should save that for chat.
I might want to throw this into chat, but we'll resolve this afterwards.
We'll
Rusty's going shopping
list afterwards.
Rusty's going to go shopping.
We can handle this in the Discord as far as shopping goes for the because if it's a lengthy amount of things that's not a quick purchase we can do on camera here, I'll wrap it up soon and we can be done.
Wait.
So
Does this mean that we are going to have to have an entire episode for Dalgar to bet on pod races, and are we going to have another child on fucking board the show? I don't want to have to go through that crap. We may as well just
No,
purchase
no,
it.
no.
Wait, when do we have a
you're
child on board?
Well,
If you don't count Rusty and his enthusiasm right now.
I haven't adopted anyone yet.
Hera.
We haven't
There's a
found
yet
it.
in
That's
there.
because we haven't had it found a place that has streets to pick up a street urchin.
What the hell?
It's true. There haven't been any streets in the campaign yet.
How about we have been
I
through
only
the
adopt
SCP?
authentic street urchins.
Local,
Only authentic street brand street urchins.
naturally
Go for that
sourced
name
street
brand stuff.
urchins,
Don't go for that name brand clone
Non-
street urchin crap.
non-GMO street urchins.
Not GMO street urchins.
So if they've been through horrible
Oh.
scientific experience, we
They
can't
say you
use
don't
it?
want any, yeah, no.
So free range.
Free range.
Talurra's- Talurra is
best
the only
kind.
GMO part member of our
If you
party.
can't make your own street urchins, store bought is fine.
Whoa, now that's
So what you're
that's getting
saying
into
is
some
you're
other
going from the
territory.
second worst thing to happen to those orphans to the first worst thing that's ever happened to those orphans.
You mean after losing their parents?
I mean, that depends
That's
on
the
where you
second
pick them
worst
up
thing.
from. Yeah.
If you then become the first worst thing to happen to those orphans.
If they were orphans you rescued from Redlock, assuredly whatever you do is the second worst thing they've encountered.
Things can always get worse.
Yeah. Redlock is a good example. So any immediate purchases of things that are non-magical in nature you wish to make at this time, at shopping lists aside?
No, I just realized that I have a nice number of spells, so that I can still use. So it's nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Are I have a question though? Are life suits considered a magical item, like a magic based item, or are they just like a physical?
Life suits would be a technology-based item. The hollow sologram ones are also technology-based.
Oh shit! I won't be able to use my zone of atmosphere.
Nope. It's a spell.
I need a battle frame.
The hollow sologram life suits are a pin that just attaches to your clothing, and you just tap it and it forms a solid hologram life suit around you. It functions the same as a regular life suit, but if it gets damaged, you can turn it back on again in 24 hours.
Did I just hear you say you wanted a battle frame?
The words I meant to say were impulse frame. I have a guy in the industry named Stark who could hook me up with something like that. It's just not an actual battle frame. I misspoke. So you can get off your high horse.
A big bullheaded fellow?
Well, that's
All right.
not his head, but yeah, that's part of the frame.
References aside, I do appreciate everyone's time here today. Thank you all for watching. We'll do plugs, and then we will pick up with some perhaps gnomish shopping next time, or finish the gnomish shopping, do some assembly. Who knows? There's all sorts of things that could happen here. Dalgar's going to have a blaster made by Rusty now because he bought the parts and Rusty's going to put it together. So, you know, everyone gets what they want, except Talurra and Helix, who didn't buy anything.
Just make sure
So-
the blaster doesn't fire backwards.
I was gonna say I can make him cool shit too. So,
So what you're,
Right,
so what you're
right.
saying is, no, Rusty needs to absolutely make the cursed Halo 1 pistol where it shoots you in the mouth
Oh my God, Vex, why?
Right.
and breaks cutscenes because the AI also use the pistols and shoot
Right.
themselves.
Shoot
with it.
themselves in the mouth. Yeah.
that's only if the Red Lock are coming and we have no way out.
No. That's called fight them and make sure they kill you.
Right. All right. So we'll go with plugs, and I think that's a good transition. Talurra, you can go first.
All right. Well, one of the things I'm going to say, Hera will deal with. So, following Hera's game tomorrow, at 3:30 p.m. EST is my campaign, my Lancer Union Academy, where when we last left our group, they had just moved into their new, new more or less complex. The 4 students are now got their school housing and are getting ready for their first day living there. Well, and maybe they'll meet their neighbors next session. Who knows?
Oh God.
But aside from that, on my channel next Tuesday is Unwritten, and that's at 8:00 p.m. EST. Come check that out. And then on Thursday is Saffron Academy, where we are having a special Halloween episode where we are playing as kids who we're playing kids on bikes, and our characters are going to be a bunch of kids who are going to a summer camp. I am going to be playing. I did art for my character, and she's an absolutely adorable emo girl. So come check that out. And that's it for me. Oh yeah, Fractured Moon D&D. That's what you can find all my stuff on. You can find it in Scotty's friends list. That's it for me.
Then that's a good way. We'll transition right over to Helix.
Because right before that Lancer game is also my game on that same channel at 12:30 p.m. EST. It's a mask game with a bunch of teenage superheroes. The name Starfall Academy, and currently they outside of the alien of the group is being accused of a bunch of crimes because she left her home planet without for Earth without proper clearance, and that caught now up to her. So yeah.
All right. Then I think we will move over to. Do you have any plugs, Zora?
I am so concerned with Jesse right now. And I'm very concerned about my character in his game now.
What game would that be then, Rusty?
I have no game to promote, just this thought. If you ever donated blood, the blood could be in someone else's boner right now. Until we meet again.
What the fuck?
Did you not see that, Hera? I posted that in general chat
I love
like
it.
a couple
That was
days
beautiful.
ago.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Like Skeletor.
Scotty, do you have any plugs? Or Jalgar, rather.
Yeah, sorry, I was unmuting everything. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to work having a firearm in D&D Beyond. It took a bit, but I got it figured out. In any case, the only thing I really got to promote is I have opened up commissions again for drawing. I still definitely need to catch up on a few that I have, but now my equipment's working again. So that works out. And the next game that will be on this channel will be this upcoming Wednesday, where we continue our Icewind Dale campaign, Rime of the Frost Maiden. And the group has heard about some Drugar doing some nasty things around Thin Towns. And they might be trying to figure out how to get rid of that problem. Or they might just keep exploring Ten Towns. Who knows? There's a lot of things to do. So that'll be this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right. Does anyone else have any other plugs?
Oh, a little side fact. My first experience with Icewind Dale was from Blake in 3rd edition. And I forget what we were playing. Was it like a pre-made module or something?
Nope, it was all from the seat of my pants.
Okay, I just remember there was a lot of goblins, and I was playing that 3rd edition Psionics prestige class called a pyrokineticist. And I just really liked burning things, because their prerequisite is watching that house burn.
Yeah, to get to the prestige class, you have to have watched a building burn to the ground for no other reason other than to watch it burn.
And I think we left off the campaign with me having a giant sack filled with alchemist fires and me just chucking them into the goblin fortress. It was great.
Yes, yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I was worried at where you were gonna stop there when you
It
said
specifically
I had a
says
giant
a house.
sack.
Yeah.
They also probably had that too.
You set an orphanage on fire to get that, didn't you?
You know what? Yeah,
Those kids
sure.
had it coming.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that aside, we will stay tuned and see you next time when we go back into the Ghosts of Saltmarsh on this channel next week. Same time. I won't be here, but Scotty will, and so will some other folk.
It might be a new character. Maybe not.
Maybe not. And then the next time we come back here for the Silver Fleet will be the 6th of November. So until then, we will see you next time, Space Cowboys.
Yeah, happy Halloween to all who celebrate.
Yep. Happy Halloween.